And then I've seen people have mentors, and the first thing to talk about is my school fees. Oh, we're suffering at home. Oh, this. Whatever your mentor or your coach would give you will deliver to you your future. Because God has intentionally yoked you together with such a person. Except you've chosen the wrong mentor. But if you are with the right person, one of the things I say, even when I work, is that wherever you are, if you are not earning, you should be learning. Because the learnings you are getting will give you the earning of the future. So what I do is whatever I can get from them at that time, and I serve. In fact, I've had to train in banks for my mentor for 2 weeks without a penny, and I know how much the trainings were for. When she collected the money, she didn't even bother to even tell me thank you. And at that time, I was still on maternity leave. I just had my last baby. I was still on maternity. In fact, I used to carry her. And I trained for 2 weeks, and she collected millions of naira. She didn't even say thank you when she returned back. As a human being, I was hurt. But then I just put it under the blood, like my mother in the Lord would say. And I just moved on. It was an opportunity for me. Guess what? 2 months after, she called me and said, Victor, I was expecting you to sound disgruntled. And that was the first lesson of freedom. You know freedom, I mean you are learning trade and somebody wants to do freedom. So that was the first lesson of freedom. And then she rang the bank MD and said, I'm no longer going to take that up. Victory will take the consent form. And that was it. That was it for me. And I was like, God. And I can't tell you how much I had gotten and what connection I had gotten from there. She said she did it intentionally, waiting for me to come back and complain. And I had access to her. I could tell her anything. In fact, sometimes when she wears certain type of bra, that kind of relationship, she said, ma, this bra you're wearing is not it. So I had that kind of clothes. So I could ask her to say, ma, no, I don't think what you did. Because she gave me that kind of access to give her feedback. She said she was waiting for me to come back. In fact, she had asked me in between to prepare slides for another project she was doing, that she had this training, I should do the slide. I did it. In fact, I stayed back at work to do it, and I didn't go home until like 10, 11. And I forwarded to her. She said she was waiting for me to come back. And all through, she never asked me how much I made when she released it. And not only that, she gave me access to other places. And that was the send forth, the freedom she gave me. So when you have a mentor, whatever knowledge and access you will get from them is what you should be after. And it is important that throughout the period of tutelage, you are humble to the core to get whatever. At the end of the day, Elisha was told, are you not aware that today your master will be taken away? He said, no problem. I'll go with him. What was Elisha doing, for goodness sake? Pouring water on the hand of Elijah. That was the meanest of the errand boy you could think of. Gehazi was, look at what Gehazi did. Immediate gratification. And that is one thing we started teaching our children. God bless my husband. He's the best man anybody can marry. The first lesson of life was delayed gratification. And that for us is very key. You know what? I would not ask you what is the need for me now. I don't care. We were talking the other day with one of my mentors, and he said, people no longer volunteer in church. Whatever you give them, they are asking, how much are you paying? I learned presentation skills from church. I learned some organizational and leadership skills from church. And these were people who gave me opportunity to lead. And I'm like, these people must be out of their mind to give me this kind of platform. So when you have a mentor, please don't abuse access. In fact, when my mentor when they introduce me to people, I mean big access, I don't go behind their back to connect or contact. I don't. I wait until they say go before I go. It's important to learn.
That deserves a round of applause. Thank you so much for that. I learned so much from that. Thank you so much. Okay, so the next question is for Mrs. Uteh. All right. And, you gave us direction. So people want more direction because they're Oliver Twist, right? So the question is, and the person used other words, and I think this question has appeared twice. So if you're struggling with laziness, procrastination, what are practical first step, second step that you can do, right, to overcome this as a young person?
Thank you. Truth. Everybody struggles with it. If you tell me you've never struggled with procrastination, I'll ask Lekon to lead you to Christ. That you need to give your life to Christ afresh. But that's why I talk about determination. The first thing to do is Nike said, just do it. So, what is that thing you are struggling with? There's that was the title of this book, Eat That Frog. Just do it. What's that thing you're struggling with? Okay, so practical steps. I want to have a morning routine. What will be my morning routine? Is the first question. Then write it down. When I get up in the morning, the very spiritual people say when you wake up in the morning, go and pray. It does not work for me. If I get up now and kneel down to pray, I will snooze. And that's the honest truth. So when I wake up in the morning, I freshen up first. I brush my teeth. I splash water on my face first. Then I now say, okay, now let's sit down. Can we do a devotion? So question, what is that thing you want to do that you are struggling with doing? Oh, it's exercises. Okay. I want to start exercising for 5 minutes every day. What time? I want to exercise by 6 a.m. Can you set the alarm? When the alarm rings, get up and go and do that 5 minutes thing. When you've done it successfully for 1 week and you are ticking your calendar, give yourself a pat on the back. Take yourself out for lunch. Reward yourself. Get an accountability partner. All right, I'm struggling to go for a walk every day. Can you ask me on a daily basis, Yobi, did you walk today? Because I know she would ask me, and I want to tell her yes. I will get it done. I want to read a book a month. Can I tell you, Victory, please, I want to read this book, Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy in the month of January. Can you please ask me at the end of January if I've read the book? Accountability partner. So number 1, you've decided. Number 2, you've written it down. Number 3, you've set alarm where alarm is necessary. Number 4, you have an accountability partner. Number 5, when you tick the box for 1 week, reward yourself. Number 6, start again. If you jumped it, no problems. Tell yourself you missed one. 5/6 is still pass mark. Don't worry. Next week it will be 7/7. The next week you do 1/7. You're me 1/7. Okay, so what has made it difficult? Maybe Victory didn't remember to call me. Maybe she's very busy. Maybe I'll try Brother Davies. Maybe Davies is not available for me. Maybe I try Gilbert. Who can be in my circle to help me? The moment you get somebody in your circle that can help you, hold on to that person. And don't be afraid to fail. That I told her I did not work. Will she kill me? She won't now. But she will encourage me. Again, who are you talking to? This man has said, even me, I've been trying to work, I've not worked too. My dear, it's not possible. Don't go back there. they'll kill your joy more, they'll kill your dream more. But they find someone that can tell you, really, okay, I also want to do the same thing. Let's do it together. I'm running a program that's demanding. But I have a friend I met in that program who, when the exam is coming, the exam usually will end 11:59 p.m. on Friday. She will call me on Thursday. How far? Are you set to write your exam now? And then when I write mine, I'm calling her. I've written my exam. Have you written yours? So that before 11:59, both of us have written our exam. Who is in your network? Who is your support system? Who can help you? God bless you.
Thank you so much for that. I think the practical steps were very clear. Right. Okay. So, sir, Mr. Davis. Okay, we're going to be talking about vision, right? Some people are motorua. I don't know how to say it in English. It comes, it just coming. It's follow come, right? And some people, they stumble on it, like Mr. Gaze Baba said today, right? So it just happened to him, right? But this person wants to know, how do you get a vision? How do you get it? Like, I want to have a vision. I want to be one of the people that have visions. How can I get one?
Okay. From the little I have seen and I have experienced and I have known in life, vision usually leads to fulfillment when it is rooted in your life purpose. That is why you don't rush to ask God for vision without first understanding your purpose. Once you understand your purpose in life, it makes it easier for you to step into a vision. Now, sometimes people confuse all these concepts. Some people don't even know the meaning of purpose, the meaning of vision, and all of that. But you need to first of all understand that purpose. And purpose is actually what you have been created to be, your being. Okay? Then vision is your seeing. In other words, purpose is your destination, where what God has destined you to be in life. I don't know whether you're understanding it. And so once you understand it and you now begin to ask God for a vision, which is the seeing, because every human being on earth has two eyes. One is the physical eye and the other one is the mind's eye. Unfortunately, the man's eye, a lot of people's own are blind. And that is why you see people walk around, they cannot see opportunities because their mind's eye is closed. Am I communicating? Yes. And so once you understand it, your purpose, let me tell you why it is important you start with the concept of purpose. It's because immediately you understand your purpose, because none of us is created to do everything in life. None. We have specific assignments. We have people that we have been called to, assignments that we have been given by God to execute on this earth. And so once you clarify your purpose, you will now understand that you have been given innate abilities. In other words, there are divine abilities that God has deposited in you that will enable you accomplish your purpose. And any vision that is rooted in that purpose, you will be able to handle. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so it is important you sit down and understand how these things work. When you understand them, it's difficult for us to explain everything here. We are rushing. It's difficult. So when you understand all of these things and you now begin to ask God, you will see clarity begins to unfold. You begin to understand it so that when God drops the vision, you will understand what division is all about and how it is connected to your purpose in life and the strategies that will enable you to execute. I will round up with this. Remember that I told you in my story, I had no background in agriculture. But when God was telling me overseas that he wants to use me in Africa, I really didn't understand it until when I came. And then he now gave me the vision. Then as I was researching, I realized that I want to give you, that's why every young person here tonight, each time I travel the breadth and length of this country, I cry. The reason why I cry is that Nigeria is too blessed to be where it is today. And young people, we have so many young people. And most times I see young people, I've worked with some of them, I sit in some board, I conduct interviews with some organizations, and I will look at some young people walk into the room, but their mind's eye are closed. It makes me cry. And that is why we don't need to remain where we are today. That's the title of this conference. There must be a wakening up of every young person in this house. So that is how you cast your vision. It's not a one-day thing. No. It's not something you just stumble on the road. There is a strategic move towards it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Please give a round of applause for that. Okay, our time is fast spent, so I'm just going to go into that general question, which is one thing that you want to make sure that anybody who came for the Wake Up Conference, anybody who's going to watch the Wake Up Conference online, because there's going to be a campaign after this, for people to see this far and wide. What's that one thing that you want them to know? I'm going to start with you, Ma. Yes.
Thank you. Now, everybody, if you got a bag with you, can you just open your bag and look at it? Assuming inside your bag as you were coming into this conference, Pastor Lekon had instructed the ushers to deposit $1 million cash in your bag. Would you have dropped that same bag on the floor carelessly the way you have dropped it? So it means that you have abused your bag because you can't see the $1 million. And that is the exact thing we are doing to ourselves. Living below our inheritance as children of God. I told you something. I was telling the story when I started my story. I said the driver could not come into the estate to fulfill his purpose of driving me out because he did not have access. So a lot of us, like he said, are walking about without access to who we are ourselves. So if you know that you are able to deliver Nigeria out of the challenge, would you carry yourself the way you are carrying yourself? Will you behave the way you are behaving? Will you keep company with the people you are keeping company with? Will you do what you are currently doing? Will you be in the relationship you are with? If you know what to carry on the inside of you, how differently would you behave? We need to start to behave that way. Thank you.
Wow. You can pass it on to. Sorry, just a moment.
You've heard so much. You've listened. You've heard the stories. What will you do with it? If I'll come across you this time next year, what will be the outcome of all of this that you have heard? There are two constants in life: time and change. If you allow time to happen to you, or you allow change to happen to you, please don't blame anybody. But if you take ownership of your life, decide today to plan your life, time and change will work for you. I look forward to seeing you at the uncrowded top. The 1% of the 1%. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I want to tell you a story of chocolate as I round up, based on the sector that I'm currently playing in. Afara Africa is the bridge. There are about 50 nations that has the ability, I repeat, that has the ability to grow cocoa tree in the world. Cocoa tree can only grow 20 degrees away from the equator. But about those 50 nations that God has given the ability to grow cocoa tree, only 4 out of them supplies the world with 70% of cocoa production. The 4 nations are all in West Africa. Côte d'Ivoire, 1. Ghana, 2. Nigeria, 3. And Cameroon, 4. But this is where I'm going. Do you know that of all the 4 nations that I have mentioned, none of them has the ability to produce chocolate? In fact, in 2022, Germany exported chocolate worth $5.6 billion. I have lived in Germany. I have never seen one cocoa tree in Germany. Go and do your research. The first 20 nations that exports chocolate all over the world, the highest exporter of chocolate all over the world, you will never see an African country, including the 4 I mentioned that are the highest producers of cocoa. It's an anomaly. And that is what wise King Solomon said. I have seen princes walking on foot while the servants are on horseback. There are too many anomalies in Africa. And I believe that Afara Africa, you and us, have a lot of work to do to change this continent. Don't give up.
Don't you think that's it?